All right. Happy afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday. Thanks for agreeing to listen to me blabber on about saying it simply, Christopher, not saying it more complicated. And thank you for to the chair for joining us. No pressure. So hopefully this will be good.
Excited to be here.
I actually gave this presentation to the grad school at the University of Louisiana Lafayette back in May, and I trimmed it down from 3 hours to one. And actually, that second hour is going to be on Wednesday for the elevator pitch. There will be a competition on Wednesday during that workshop. If you have the best one and the most creative one, you will get a prize. So if you're there, no pressure, no pressure. So for my friends on Zoom and for my friends in here, have you ever seen a face like this when you're trying to explain something to someone else? Yeah.
All the time.
The funding formula, I think I give Elizabeth this face when she explains it to me because I don't understand it. Lewis Library's team, do y'all get that face? How about proprietary schools?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Herring, you get this face every day, man.
What do you mean I can't build that there?
Can't build that. What is deferred maintenance? What are you talking about? So this is all a part of what we want to accomplish. So for this first workshop, I'm hoping that we'll recognize the curse of knowledge, which I'll discuss shortly, explain why clear communication matters. We're going to simplify complex information for different audiences, Mr. Herring, eliminate jargon and dense phrasing, which if you've worked at Regents long enough, that is like a lot of what we say. And trying to simplify it is really hard. And then how to structure messages for clarity and impact, as well as translating our expertise into everyday language, and then commit to ongoing clarity. So have y'all heard of the curse of knowledge at all? Nope. So this is a study from Stanford University. Elizabeth Newton was the graduate student in psychology, and she conducted a study called Tappers and Listeners to illustrate the curse of knowledge. And she assigned in her class one participant to one of two roles, a tapper or a listener. So I'm going to be the tapper. Y'all are going to be the listeners. Okay. Y'all ready? You know what that tune is?
Not at all.
Anybody on Zoom, did you hear that tune? And can you guess that tune?
I did not hear a tune.
Didn't hear it.
Whoa.
Didn't
Oh,
hear
okay.
it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we didn't hear it.
Oh, it blocks background noise. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what it was. It was Happy Birthday.
Okay.
Okay. I didn't.
So
Me neither.
in the study, only 2.5% got it right out of, I think, 200. Let me see what my notes say. Whereas in the original study, Elizabeth Newton thought 50% would get it. That was her hypothesis. So 2.5%. When I did this at the UL graduate school, 10% got it, but I just chalked it up to them being smarter than me. So the curse of knowledge talks about we all know a lot in various capacities, and it's easy to think that everyone knows it too. So I remember when I started at Regents 5 years ago, and the first day people are talking to me about all of this stuff, and I'm looking at them like they have 8 heads because they thought I already knew everything they knew when I got here. But as we all know, it takes time. So it's easy for us to think that when we're up here at this highest level, that it's easy to assume that everybody, our institutions and our systems know the same stuff we do, when in fact, that's not the case. So I have a few examples. I think all of us were alive in 1999, right? I always have to ask this in class. We know Kim Kirkpatrick was alive. I'm sorry, I had to get that in. So I have three examples. Do we remember in 1999, the Mars rover? Do we remember what happened to it?
Finally crashed.
It got lost.
Yeah.
And it got lost because we use the imperial system and everybody else uses metric. We wrote it in imperial and not the metric system. And because of that assumption of the curse of knowledge, it crashed. That was $125 million spacecraft. Now, for fun, what are the three countries that use the imperial system?
China.
Nope, not China. The United States is one. Who are the other two?
Europe. Great Britain.
No.
Australia.
Canada,
Nope, Canada, our friends to the north, they use the metric system. So the three countries that use the imperial system, like us, Liberia and Myanmar.
oh gosh,
So you would think we would get on the metric system. No,
I thought we used a metric system.
we use the imperial system.
Okay.
Because we don't use meters, kilometers, kilograms. That's not everyday language.
And we know from buying clothes from other places.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you have to,
Shoe,
and yeah, shoe sizes, everything else you buy from a foreign country and you have to translate it to see, does this fit? So 99, NASA lost a satellite because we used the wrong system of conversion. Now in Texas, 2014, a hospital miscommunicated between its doctors and nurses, and they allowed an Ebola patient to go home. As Chair Cordell knows from working in the medical field, that is not good.
Good.
So,
Backtrack it and trace
It
it and
is.
find out where that person has been.
right, and seeing who were they in contact with,
Yeah.
what that bubble was. So miscommunication is not a typo. It's also, if we don't communicate with each other, something like this happens. And then our friends at Boeing, which can never catch a break. So this is the 737 MAX, which has been the airplane that's had so many issues lately with the door plug that was causing all those problems. The pilots didn't understand the new software system, MCAS, and that led to 2 catastrophic plane crashes. Because
pilot didn't understand the system.
Boeing,
Anyway.
Boeing did not teach them the software adequately. And that led to 2 of the crashes in the Indian Ocean. So again, we use software, we use data systems all the time. How can we clearly communicate that? Thankfully, none of our stuff leads to death or lost satellites, I think. So why does understanding that matters? It improves teaching and training. It boosts productivity and innovation. It fosters empathy. We can avoid negative consequences. And then it enhances communication, which is what we're trying to do today. And I threw in this quote because I didn't know anywhere else to put it besides the handout. Albert Einstein says, if you can't explain it simply, then clearly we don't understand it enough. So there's a lot of stuff that we know really well, but we try to say it in one sentence and it's like, So hopefully after today, we'll all get better. So our audiences. All right, our big circle, academia and policymakers. So that's our big one. Then we have the general public. Then we have a high school student. Then we have an elementary student. So today's challenge is going to be to simplify stuff to speak to a 10-year-old. So we want to be able to say something and for a 10-year-old to be able to simply understand it. My 17-year-old now understands what the Board of Regents does. She understands I have no power. She thought I made the rules. I'm like, no, honey, I don't. Now my 14-year-old is working on trying to understand it and be like, hey, this is what we do. Say it in a sentence. This is where we go. So is there a sentence from any of our work that you think that is too jargon heavy that we can translate and make it into something that we can share with a 10-year-old? Can we think of anything? Herring, how do you explain deferred maintenance to a 10-year-old?
That's easier than the capital outlay process.
For the funding formula.
Oh, the funding.
I would respectfully disagree about this funding model.
We simplified it. You.
All right, Kim. All right, the floor is yours.
Yep.
How would you explain the funding formula to somebody in elementary school or middle school?
It is a way to allocate the funds we're given by the legislature. That is comprised of what they got last year and performance metrics. And
What if a 10-year-old doesn't know what a performance metric is?
it's kind of like when you
What the
go,
legislature is.
kind of like when you go to,
Well, allocated.
kind of like when you go to school and you get a start, you are. I'm surprised.
You get what you deserve. How about that?
It's kind of like when
Yeah.
you go to school and you have stars on some days and sad faces on another.
Yeah,
One's positive and one's negative, and they all grow up knowing that. And
Yeah.
then potentially you can get free dress if you get the so many stars. But it is a way to allocate the dollars we're given based on the performance and a combination of what, it's kind of like if you get your allowance, and if you get your allowance every week and this is what you need to do, then you'll get that. But if you go above and beyond and do some other things, then you will get that on in addition to your allowance.
put that all together in one sentence.
So it's not simple.
You get what you deserve.
No, they don't get what they deserve.
What-
They're gonna get the most fair amount of money that we have available to give them.
Okay,
And I like explaining why some kids get more Christmas
Yeah.
presents than others.
okay. All right, how about universal transfer pathways? How do we simplify that?
That's easy too.
Because I know we started, what, a year ago, 2 years ago? I know I had to get Tristan to explain to me like I was 5. I'm like, I need you to dumb it down a little bit so I can fully get it, so I can answer questions. So how could we simplify that?
Take these classes at one place,
Mm-hmm.
then transfer to another place. All those classes will count.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good way to do it. Okay, anything else? How about proprietary schools? Is there anything in y'all's realm? I mean, I know there's a lot. Like, what's the biggest thing y'all get?
Financials. Financials.
Right.
So. Or. What's required for initial applications for financial?
Uh-huh. Okay.
An independent CPA has to complete either an audited or reviewed balance sheet
Mm-hmm.
on the school. So how can we simplify that? Because the next question is, well, what if we don't have any money? What is it? What's an independent
What's a
CPA?
Right.
What's this in here?
So I think.
About balancing your checkbooks.
Let's see.
I mean, I've worked across Courtney for years and I don't know.
You need to contact a CPA and have them complete a review of your current balance sheet.
It's a balance sheet.
Oh,
There was a CPA.
oh.
I'm gonna come back to y'all. I want y'all to think about it.
Mhm.
All right, so my friends at Lewis, what have y'all encountered? What's the biggest question y'all get and how can you simplify it?
What the LSP is, Library Services Platform, I don't even know where to start, I don't know, I'm on the spot. I can't take,
So who can access the library services platform? Who's it for?
the academic libraries in the state.
Okay,
They're part of the consortium.
public and private. Okay. All right, that's a start.
Is there such a thing as a non-academic one?
Like the publics, like EBR public libraries.
Yeah. Academic library would be anything housed on a 2 or 4 year campus.
That, I just assumed the library was a library and played out, it
There we go.
included academic stuff.
See, there you go.
I'm on our library board in Monterey. Okay, for Washington Parish.
I know in the past, when it depends on my audience, so people around my age, the easiest way to explain, like, what do you do for a living, Marcy? And I would say, you remember when we were younger and we'd go to the library and there was a card catalog and you go through all the cards?
Yeah.
Well, what I do is all that is now automated. So what you saw in that pull drawer is now online, and I help manage the system that does that.
It's a good visual.
That makes that makes
Yeah.
complete sense to somebody like me, but I don't know the kids nowadays.
But
even.
yeah.
My kids don't know what a card catalog is. We all used it in school.
That's why I'm saying, if they're my age or around, that's the
Yeah.
easiest way, and simplest way for me to explain.
That's a very good visual. All right, Herring.
So I find still a lot of people still don't know what the Board of Regents do. So my first.
Well, and that's our number one goal.
My first response is we develop talent in the state of Louisiana, which I got from y'all.
Yeah. We are the policy and advocacy board
My second
for
point,
public.
because they
higher
are, what does
education.
that mean? We develop talent. And
Yeah.
I say we're the policy maker. And then if somebody asks me specifically what I do to keep it to a bare minimum, I say I help the institutions find money to build and maintain buildings. And leave it at that, because if you go any further into it, it gets convoluted.
That's perfect.
No, that is good. I mean, that's
That's a straightforward answer. Like I said, I don't even know if my girlfriend knows what I do.
You had a girlfriend.
See, also stuff.
I know,
So Emily, do you have anything? Is there anything in your realm?
Y'all tell me, cause I mean, I
mean, you're air
it's pretty straightforward.
You're air traffic control for the commissioner.
Yeah, a bit of everything.
Yeah.
Can't go on strike.
You did a really good job of explaining to me when I was on board, did the homework assignments for.
Oh, yeah,
Dr. Reed.
homework.
Yeah.
For the love of God, send the homework to the commissioner and copy me. Do
Yeah.
not send it to me, and it's not my homework. I don't want it. So this is her, copy me, so I can make sure it gets done.
Well, I think.
job of making sure it's
I
done.
think most kids understand what homework is, but I think why would the commissioner get homework?
The commissioner gets homework because she likes things the way she likes things, and so she wants to review all the things that go out of this building.
I just got something to review.
Consistency.
Consistency.
Well, and you can, to a 10-year-old, you could say she's really busy. And so when she's at the office during the day, just like when you're at school,
Mhm.
you do certain things, but you still have a lot of work to do when you get home.
Yep.
So this is the stuff that she has to review when she gets home.
Yep. That's another good point. All right, how are we coming proprietary? Oh, I didn't like vegan side eye.
I got one. Well,
Okay,
that's
I
different
have-
from me.
Okay,
So,
I have two.
so for me, when someone say, what do you do at the Board of Regents or what department you work in? And I say proprietary, so a lot of people don't know what proprietary schools are. So the way I would simplify would be is I oversee schools that are not regulated or in the controls of the public government. And I had to make sure that they're trade schools, which are like welding schools, CNA schools, or medical assistant schools.
Okay.
So that's how I would simplify it.
Okay. Do other states call it proprietary?
Some state.
Some of them do, but not all of
Some of them call them for profits, huh?
them.
Mm-hmm.
I
So,
found that out.
and that was the one I was going to, so I say a
That's what
proprietary
context.
school is typically a privately owned school that offers occupational or trade training programs such as welding, HVAC, medical assistant, CNA to the general public or to everyone.
Where does cosmetology schools fall in there?
Cosmetology schools are not licensed and regulated by the
Okay.
Board of Regents. They are licensed and regulated by the Louisiana Board of Cosmetology.
Gotcha, learn something.
But that may be just in our state too.
That might
Yeah.
be just in our state,
Yeah.
but in
And Barber is
Louisiana.
different too. Barber have their own. That's
Okay.
different from cosmetology.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, we learned, something came up, there was something last year that came up and I learned that.
If you look them up.
Product, our schools are closed.
Close.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yep.
And I kept getting the questions and I found out they fall under a different
If you
category.
look them up in iPads, they're for profits, because they'll have public,
Yeah.
private, or profit.
But they can be owned by nonprofits.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah,
So
interesting.
that's why we don't necessarily say for profit.
profit.
Yeah.
We have quite a few of them that are nonprofits.
Got it. Well, I can tell you during our PLOSFA situation, I learned a lot in having to simplify and trying to dumb it down. Because there was a lot to, it's like drinking from a fire hose, trying to translate that to the general public, because the average adult has an 8th grade reading level. So trying to use words that they know in their vernacular. See, Chris, vernacular, that's a good one to add to your resume.
I wrote it down.
Oh, and I did come up with another one for the financial component too.
Okay,
A licensed public accountant, a certified public accountant, or a licensed accountant must complete a review of the school's current bank balance.
okay. That's a good one.
Okay, all right.
Do any of our friends on Zoom joining us virtually, do y'all have an example where you can simplify either what you do or something in your area for a 10-year-old to understand?
Well, I was thinking about the admission criteria.
Mhm.
And so if I'm talking to a 10-year-old, I'll say, the admission criteria are what you need to do to go to college.
Okay,
And
Very.
good one. No, we're not gonna get on the matrix. Oh, goodness gracious.
oh God, no, 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 let's not do that.
We don't have the time for it. No, that was great, Lupe. Anybody else?
I wish somebody would explain the matrix to me like a 10-year-old.
All right. Well, we'll move on to our next one. So since Mr. Herring thought that we were gonna expand our vocabulary, the next thing is kill the jargon. So if you've looked at our branding style book or any of our documents, we have a ton of acronyms.
Yes.
And there are new ones that I am hearing about that I'm like, I don't even know if we use them a lot, if it's worth us knowing.
Some of them seem to be overlapping.
They are overlapping, and I think some of them may be old and outdated. Whether they're from the federal government, just previous board stuff, state level things that are no longer in existence. So when we're faced with people, say at the legislature, how do we get out of the habit of using the alphabet soup model and trying to explain it without the acronyms?
You think about the look on that person's face that was your first slide, because that's usually what you get,
Yeah,
we have no clue what you're talking about.
because I know sometimes Bree or Allison or Dr. Reed will maybe say something and then we have to, even if it's the full name, we have to go back and explain it.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, I ran into that as a newbie on the board. I mean, there was a lot of things I'm like, y'all need to give me a cheat sheet. I need
No, that-
something.
That's a great point, because SREB, for example, isn't really a board. It's just like a coalition
Right.
of states.
Yeah.
But they're called the Southern Region Educational Board. That isn't a board, it's a coalition of states, and they really have no authority over us at all.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and so the board orientation binder, we have a whole section of acronyms. It's 10 pages. And I know I'm missing stuff because proprietary could have more specifics, academics could have more specifics, data, Lewis, y'all could have more. I mean, we could put 100 pages worth of acronyms in there. And I know we're missing stuff. I mean, it's a lot. And, higher ed, I think, has the most. So with that, we're gonna do an example. This is not an acronym, but this is just a lot of crap. So here's a before and after example. Before, leveraging interagency synergies to optimize student outcomes. How on earth would we simplify that to make any sort of sense?
Working together to optimize student outcomes.
So what I had written was working together across agencies to help more students succeed. But yeah, interagency synergy, which is just bleh. That word, I don't understand what it is. But just, we all communicate one way internally because we're so used to the vocabulary. But then say whenever I'm talking to Piper or talking to somebody in the media, I'm changing my vocabulary so they can understand, because they're gonna be the ones that translate it in print. So I want them to understand it succinctly so they can write about it clearly and effortlessly. So that leads me to the reminder that simple is not dumb. So I jokingly say, explain to me like I'm 5, like Michael Scott on The Office. But we've all heard Dr. Reed say clear is kind. Simple is not dumb at all. So if you simplify it, that leaves less amount of time for people to misinterpret it. So how do we structure for clarity and impact? So we start with context, why it matters. Then we want to lead with our point. Explain it simply, avoid jargon, Chris Herring, and relate to your audience. So clear. See, I made an acronym.
That's what you did. I was
Clear.
commented on that.
I was waiting to see if you caught on. So those 5 things. So context, your point, explaining it simply, avoiding all of the unnecessary jargon crap, and then relate it to your audience. So when I speak to everybody here, I speak one way. When I speak to the media, I speak another way. When I speak to my colleagues at other campuses, I may speak a third different way, because there may be stuff that we do they don't understand. So I don't want to assume that they all know what we know. So let's put it to the test. So I did have AI write this. I will say with 100%. The Louisiana Board of Regents is implementing a data-informed cross-sectional initiative to operationalize equitable student success pathways. Good God, this is a long sentence, I'm sorry. By leveraging synergistic, is that even a word? Partnerships among post-secondary institutions, K-12 systems, and workforce stakeholders. Whew. The framework emphasizes scalable interventions, longitudinal outcomes tracking, and the optimization of credential attainment pipelines to ensure holistic alignment with state economic development imperatives.
Big red pen.
Right? We wouldn't even put this in the master plan, maybe in draft 1, and then it's going to be completely different by draft 10. So let's take the first sentence. What can we do to clear up all of that nonsense? Like, what would be some of the first words we would take away?
Versus implementing a
Implementing
data.
Yeah.
Data, it's data driven.
Cross-sectory.
Yeah.
Data driven.
Operationalize, equitable.
Yeah. Well, let's go to cross-sectoral. I've never seen that phrase outside like an academic paper. So initiative, we don't use very often. We don't use operationalize. Student success.
Instead of implementing it, data informed, to say using information.
Yeah.
Using information.
Using data.
Using data.
I don't mind data, but then it could, yeah.
But I
It
mean,
is nothing unless you contextualize
right,
it and
right.
provide
And to your
information
point,
about
Kim, we don't use the word information a lot. We tend to rely on, say, data.
Data,
And that's a consistent term throughout a lot of our verbiage. So synergistic, we all know what synergy is, but is that even a helpful word in this sentence?
neither really is leveraging.
Have partnerships.
Yeah. By establishing or creating partnerships, having partnerships among post-secondary, and you could probably even say post-secondary K-12 systems to simplify it, and then
Yeah.
workforce stakeholders.
Some people don't know what a stakeholder is.
You just scratch stakeholder, probably more.
Oh, yeah, or partners. Well, no, we have partnerships. But yeah, workforce, you could probably just end it with that. But you're right. If it's a 10 or a 15-year-old, what's a stakeholder?
Right, they would know what that was.
Even some of my college students may not know what it is.
Right.
They might not know what post-secondary means. That's true.
That is true.
Framework emphasizes. What framework?
So.
Did we mention?
No, they didn't. So that was another thing that AI did. So I didn't never mention framework. So it's clearly going back to initiative. So it emphasizes scalable interventions. Do we use the word intervention in any of our?
Early intervention.
Yeah.
It's taken out of, just.
Right. How about longitudinal?
Mm-mm.
No, unless it's a data set.
In my world, yes, I definitely agree that does not make it simple
Outcomes tracking.
to look long-term.
Yeah. And the optimization of credential attainment.
So that we can have more people.
Getting credentials.
And I know credential is the buzzword, credential attainment is the buzzword, but I'm telling you, most people don't know what that means.
You're absolutely right.
Even my age, we're like credential attainment.
Yeah.
You want
They brought that up.
60% credential educational attainment. What does that mean?
They brought that up at the meeting today. We were talking about, it was that AI task force.
Oh, really?
And it was one of the leaders that was there was talking about going to an actual workforce. I mean, it was like industry giant. And they were like, what industry-based credentials are most important to you? And they're like, what is that? But that's what we base a lot of our work on. And I was like, whoa.
It's what certifications do you have? What
Yeah,
certifications do you
Yeah,
have?
what
They get
is an
that.
industry-based credential? I was like, oh, gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Kind
then,
of eye-opening.
yeah, because a lot of people, they assume it's 2 and 4 year, but now we know that credentials could mean something else.
To be
be,
all
yeah.
encompassing, but
It could be anything.
yeah.
It's what skills, she said it's an industry-based credential, like what skills?
Right.
What skills
Yeah.
do you have in order to do this job? If I'm doing an interview with you, I'm not asking you what your industry-based credentials are. I'm asking you what your skills are in order to do the job.
Right.
So could we fit our education to employment pipeline phrase in here somewhere?
I like that term, but I do agree that it could use work if
Yeah.
making it simplistic. It's to get jobs.
Yeah.
To use what you know or what you can learn to get a job.
All right, so Kim, summarize these 2 sentences.
Which one?
Ha- Well, the 2 on the board. So how?
2 sentences?
Yes, ma'am.
Exactly.
Yeah, the first sentence is like 3 and 1. So how would you summarize this into a succinct point?
Louisiana Board of Regents is using data across agencies to provide student pathways. Partnering, I think partnering is pretty simple. Partnering with both, and I would flip K-12 and post-secondary. I think it makes
Yes.
more sense.
Yeah.
So by partnerships with the K-12 system and the post-secondary institutions and the workforce.
Or even higher ed.
Yeah.
They don't like, back when I was at LCTCS,
Yeah.
a gazillion years ago, they did not. Higher ed was assumed to that associate and above. So post-secondary was anything
else.
post,
Secondary.
yeah. So this means making changes, tracking outcomes over time,
Mhm.
and showing how skills learned can get you a good job. Economic development imperatives, I'm like,
Well, I mean,
get you a job, well, let's like, to get you a job, to get you a good job, that is needed in this state and will keep you here.
Yeah. So I can tell you, all of our messaging goes back to, in some form or the other, we want to provide the skills necessarily to be employed.
And stay in our state. So,
And stay in our state.
so get the skills, to
Like
learn
that.
the skills. To get a job. That is alignment to be, that,
Alignment may
That-
be too,
okay, like, to get a job in a. And be able to stay in the state or something like that. I want the tie to the state.
or the state to be able to retain its workforce.
Stay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
because,
you don't learn Nassau stuff because
Yeah,
you
yeah,
have
yeah.
to stay here if you wanna work for Nassau.
well, and like y'all said, the credential part, then you're explaining it. And then they still get confused because they all assume it's degree. And then where it can be something else, like a 6-week credential,
Yeah.
8-week credential.
Yeah, that's why I was hoping it's not there. I mean,
Yeah. Lupe or anybody else, do y'all have anything to share or how we can make this better?
Yeah, well, one of the things that I do when I'm writing is if I'm reading, research and I find some terminology, some phrase or something that just seems a little weird to me, I'll look it up. I'm like, what is this? And so holistic alignment I'm like, what is holistic alignment? And so actually I looked it up and it has nothing to do, well, at least in what I've seen, it doesn't have anything to do with education. It's all about a comprehensive approach to wellness that integrates physical, mental, and emotional health. And so, this would be, a situation where, I would want to restructure the sentence to state more clearly and more succinctly, what it does refer to. So for example, to increase the number of students who have opportunities to get a job in Louisiana, because alignment with state economic development imperatives, well, that's what we're trying to do, but in Louisiana. Does that make sense, or am I overthinking?
no,
No, that's good.
Okay.
Anybody else?
The Louisiana Board of Regents is using data across agencies to provide competitive student pathways through partnerships with K-12 and post-secondary to increase credentials that align with workforce demand within the state of Louisiana. Tried to condense it to one sentence, it's still a lot though.
It is a lot.
But it sounded good.
Yeah.
No, I think it was good.
It was good.
Anybody
They
else?
definitely need to flip that K-12 and post-secondary.
Yeah.
But then you don't know.
Your brain automatically wants to put them in order.
Right.
Right.
If you don't know what it means, you're gonna think it comes before K-12.
Exactly, yeah.
I will tell AI to do a better job.
AI sometimes just wants you to sound smart.
High demand,
Make it
and
Yes.
state.
It
Yeah.
tries too hard.
Yes.
Yes. It's like, look, but I don't know.
Anybody else on Zoom? Want to give it a go?
AI says, the Louisiana Board of Regents is working with schools and colleges to help students earn the right skills and degrees for good jobs in Louisiana.
I like
There
that.
you
There you go.
Yeah.
Very good.
Great.
But you have to change colleges to training
yeah.
providers.
Yeah,
And I'm only hypersensitive to that because I worked at LCTCS and that.
no, but that's,
They did not like to be referred as VOTEC.
but that's something that we all need to remember
Yeah.
Well,
environmentally
and
that,
now, I mean, now LCTCS mainly is colleges and universities. When you were there, there were technical colleges and VOTECs and whatever, but if you just say colleges and universities, it could exclude some proprietary.
Proprietary.
So it's for the
Right.
same
But it's
reason.
really any training.
Yeah.
oh, this is great. So from this afternoon, your key takeaways. If people don't understand your work, they won't remember it, or if you're in the area, or fund it.
Oh my, yeah, exactly.
Love that last part.
Because I mean, all of our one pagers for the legislature, I mean, it's simplistic. We break it down. Here are the main parts. here's the problem we want to solve. Here's why you should care and why it should be funded. The curse of knowledge is real. Simple does not mean stupid, it means skilled. So just because you can use a bunch of fancy words in an email doesn't mean you're smarter.
Yeah.
So don't get intimidated. You need different versions of your message. So like I shared, when I talk to the media, it's one way. When I talk to people in the agency, it's one way. When I talk to board members, it's another way. I mean, it's just different levels that we can't share the same message the same way to everybody. And then you are your work's best translator. So Chris Herring is going to get us all the new buildings on all the campus. No pressure.
There's some down.
Well, yeah.
Someone was well down.
So we are in legislative report season. I'm not getting any sleep. We're only 2 in to 30 that I have to lay out and design. So think about an email or report or anything we've done. What's one thing you'd simplify the next time you do it?
Oh my God, Chris, I wish I would have taken this before the tops and the MJ Foster. And
Yeah,
like, you can
those reports
transfer
are kind of long.
Well, they're very prescriptive, and when it's written
Yeah.
a certain way, you have to kind of respond in
Yeah.
the way that it's written. Otherwise, they don't think that the report contains what it is that was.
And there's some things where there's no way to avoid it.
Right.
Right, like articulation and transfer. They don't, come on.
What,
But
yeah.
What's called.
Yeah. Well, and I find that for myself when I'm writing a report, I had a 9th grade teacher who told me, Mrs. Wormser in New Iberia, she told me, she says, Lupe, when you're writing, you want to write as if the person who is reading this has no knowledge of what you are explaining. So you want to make sure that you provide all of the information that they need to fully understand what you've written. And so, that has just stayed with me. So I find that I think one thing that would make me a better writer is perhaps not to include so much information, because I feel like sometimes I put in so much that my point gets lost. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And it's funny, this clear, which, I love. That so many people will get lost with the context.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand the context.
Right.
Like, it's almost like you lead with your point and then you provide the context. Because sometimes they're like, by the time you put it in context.
Yeah.
What's your point? And then you explain the point, they forgot the context.
Yeah.
But I
You're
like
right.
the way clear comes out better.
Well,
Yeah.
Lassire is not a French word, so, I mean, I can tell you in communications, because we have to post things on social media with character limits. We have to get really creative and trying to make sure we don't lose the context
Yeah.
or the meaning behind something, because if you leave out too many words, it's a completely
100%
different.
About context. If you've ever heard me explain anything, I'm 100%, but.
No, I've never heard of that.
Every friend I have says that. But I don't like leading, for work, leading with your point, especially if it regards funding, then it's.
I mean, you don't have to go in order. I mean,
Yeah, that's true. That's
sometimes
true.
you do have to lead with your point
Yeah,
and then come up with a context on the back end.
and then explain the context simply.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can work with that.
I'm glad. That warms my heart, Kim.
You're related to your audience.
Anybody else, is there something you could simplify in what we do or what you do? Emily's looking at me like she's a deer in headlights.
So many things.
I know. Where do you start?
Pinpoint.
We could.
mean-
Avoid the travel authorizations for
Well,
one.
that is not the workshop I'm leading.
Okay.
But we can go with emails. I mean, we all depend on emails to
Suggestions on the travel
communicate.
authorization thing, but they're not.
How do we simplify what we write? Cause we've got 10 seconds of attention. And get our point across and we're not confused.
Like I'll say when I email stuff to the board members, especially for like our board retreat where it's like a lot of information, I try, like I write it out once and then I like go back through it and I'm like, they don't need to know that, they don't need to know that, they probably don't need, like I start taking stuff
Yeah,
out. like,
self-editing is good.
bolding stuff that you gotta know, like, you need to park here, you need to look for this sign, you need to go in this door. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Because people that are busy look for that
Right,
high level
right, look
stuff.
for that-
I
Yeah.
mean, when you send, like, I'll see stuff sometimes not that comes from here, but like other emails that I'll get and it's like forever. And I'm like, I don't have time to read that right now. And so it goes over and it sits on the shelf until I forget about it completely. So, yeah, I like how
Or
y'all.
like
send
I'll try
email.
to send the email for the first day and then after the first day's over, this is what you
Yeah.
know for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, cause there's no reason that you need to know all the things 10 days out. You're not gonna remember it.
Yeah,
Or you're gonna lose it.
As long as I get it to you before you actually get there.
Yeah.
there you go.
Well,
And usually I'm looking for it with
Yeah.
that last day. Where did we say barb again?
Right.
I was just gonna say, also it depends on the person that you're communicating. I know you did say the audience, there are some people who really like all of the context, but there are some people
Yeah.
like, okay, get straight to the point.
Yeah.
As well, so knowing who you're communicating
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
extremely important, because sometimes you don't want follow-up questions.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like Dr. Reed says, clear is kind.
Yes.
So get to the point. So all of this stuff will be in our strategic communications library. Does anybody know where it is?
No.
It's in the.
SharePoint. SharePoint.
Oh,
Careful, I mean, I go
So
to.
SharePoint is the intranet. And it's not the drive. So SharePoint is web-based.
Where do we get, how do we get to that?
Like Karthik needs to do a lunch and learn.
Yeah.
We might be a
If-
little busy.
If you go to your last newsletter, Kim, it's at the bottom with a link.
Cause I do usually go to the.
And you can just bookmark it. And I do know people get confused between SharePoint and the shared drives. And I try to update the shared drives, but I'm a one-man wolf pack at the moment. So I have to focus on more important things.
I read the newsletters.
All the way to the bottom, because there was that.
So you're saying I should put it at the top
Yeah.
with a Thanksgiving turkey? I can do that.
Have the turkey hold a little.
Absolutely, I love it.
Strategic communication.
The share drive, put one document, read me text and point them to share drive.
That's what I'm doing this afternoon. Thank you. I like that. So Wednesday, I'm gonna discuss the art of the elevator pitch. This idea came from Dr. Reed about 3 months ago. This is what got me to do this series. So there used to be a pitch competition in Colorado that they would do with staff. I will have prizes for the most creative pitch and the best pitch. It'll be voted on by your peers. So no pressure.
What do we sell it?
I'm not gonna give it away. There's a formula and you're gonna be given a prompt and
On the spot, we have to do it?
you'll be given time.
Oh, okay.
He used the word formula.
No.
It's a formula to create your pitch, not a funding formula.
It's the same thing, a formula is the way to get your money.
That is true. So I'm gonna teach people how to give it in 30 seconds or less. So do we know where the elevator pitch name came from?
It's supposed to be from when you're like your resume and everything, when you're attempting to interview for a job. That's the first thing you give them is your elevator pitch, letting them know who you are, what it is that you're looking for, and what skills you have. And so
Yeah.
you should be able to give it to somebody within 30 seconds to 1 minute in an elevator.
Yeah.
How many floors do you think that takes?
Our
It
building,
depends on the elevator.
Our building.
Not the capital.
Thinking scares me.
Elevator at the Capitol, you're like, you got 5, 10 minutes?
yeah, you could go through a 5-page resume.
Born in 1970.
Yeah, but it also, so the idea of the elevator pitch came from, we all watch Mad Men? Y'all remember the show Mad Men?
Yeah.
So all the marketing execs, the idea came from that era where they were pitching to clients or vice versa.
You're chasing down your person to try to make a sales pitch.
Yep. And a Regents event would not be a Regents event without a post-event survey. So please be kind. It is a short survey.
No question.
4 questions on a Likert scale, 1 to 5, and then 2 open-ended questions. And I'll also have this link in the email this afternoon as well. So I have
Are you gonna link it in an email?
yes, ma'am. But if you want to do it on your phone, you can.
Oh, okay to do on the phone.
Yep, you can do whatever you want, Lupe.
Thank you. Muchas gracias, señor Chris.
Like,
Muy bueno.
Bueno.
Spanish is not
I
good.
think it's gracias.
Gracias.
Yeah, that too.
Yes, that's right.
Bad.
Mucho gusto.
Yeah. So with that, I want to thank y'all for listening to me for an hour. For those of you that have worked with me for the last 5 years, you know that the climate has changed in communications. We are people that want to work with you. I want to help you. Even though I'm by myself for the next few months, I still want to help you.
Been here 5 years.
Have I aged?
No, I just.
So even though it's just me, I do want to help any way I can. So we have plenty of resources online. Thanks to Marcy, it'll have a README file in the shared drive, so everybody goes to SharePoint.
That does make sense, because that is where I am gonna intuitively go.
So,
To go to the S drive. In fact, I think the last
That's
thing in
what I
the
do too.
newsletter, I
yeah,
would say S drive. I answered wrong, but I'm like, no, it's not. It's right.
Yeah.
It's right there.
didn't I still give you
Yeah, I got that
Yeah.
ginormous
a
Tabasco.
bottle of Tabasco? Yeah, I was trying to get stuff out of my
Life-size
office.
version.
Herring, please try to hide your answers.
Why they let us sit next to each other?
Do y'all have any questions? Is there anything I didn't cover?
Very helpful.
Yeah,
Very
interesting.
Very, very, very.
And so each workshop will have a handout. We love one pagers. And it's simplicity, and hopefully as we get through it, I know we all talk to multitudes of people. And I'm having to give my simple pitch to my class every semester. Well, what do you do? And having to give it in a sentence they understand, which still leads to follow-up questions. What does that mean? But they're college students, and they're trying to simplify it further as than an exercise in futility,
Think this we ought to test.
right? Whew.
It's funny that you said 10, to explain it to a 10-year-old, because as you pointed out, Chris, my youngest is 24, so I was clearly born in 1999.
Hey,
Trying to remember what a 10-year-old knows, like, don't know.
I haven't.
They
and that's,
know a lot more than we did when we were that age, I think.
they know a lot more technology, but I mean, in terms of what they learn in school, the vocabulary, it's different. I mean, I see that even in the college students in my class, trying to change my vocabulary to adapt to them. And then with 2 teenagers at home too. Does any of our friends online, do you have any questions before we say au revoir?
No, mon chéri.
I'm good. My brain is full now.
No,
Yeah.
this was great. Thank you.
Did you switch to French?
Yes,
or-
you did.
Au revoir.
Said au revoir.
I said au revoir.
Wow.
Well, Lupe is just showing off. That's New Iberia French.
That's all I know.
All right, well, thank y'all again. I'll send an email in a little bit that has links to everything, and hopefully y'all found this very beneficial. And hopefully y'all will join me again later this week.
Absolutely.
All right.
Bye, y'all.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Chris.